Welcome back. Let's start to make these numbers look a little bit better. And before we get into the progressive web app score, let's try and get the accessibility and SEO score to 100. If we scroll down, we see that we have an X over here for avoid invisible text while fonts are loading. Lighthouse does a great job of giving you resources to show you what to do. But essentially, it's saying that if we're using the font family to download that really awesome font, let's see, the Sega logo font, and you're using font face, let me make this a little bit smaller, then consider using the font display feature. And you can learn more about it here. But the idea is that we want something like the swap property that swaps the font face in as soon as it loads. So this means that browsers draw text immediately, and when the font face is loaded, it will swap it. So this way the user will see that, we'll see the RoboFriends text on the screen a lot sooner. Let's do that. We're going to go here and type in font display, and we'll say swap. And Lighthouse is really good at giving you pretty specific hints of what you can do with your app. If we keep scrolling down, we'll skip over the progressive web app for now. We see that for accessibility, they want the form elements to have associate labels. Now, accessibility is a very important topic, and this is why it's included in the Lighthouse score. Because not everybody can view a website regularly like you and I. Some people might need screen readers or might have to access websites in different ways. And by creating your website or a web app in an accessible way, that means you're opening it up to people to experience your website in different ways, such as screen readers. So in our case, you can read more about it here, but we want to make sure that we let people know with screen readers what this input is about. We know that it's to search the robots, and it actually gives you the line. Let's go back here to our card or to the search box where we have this input. And in here, we can add something called ARIA label. And we give this input a label that screen readers can use. And we'll just say search robots. We'll save that. And let's keep scrolling down. We also see here that for SEO, we have a document does not have a meta description. And if we click on here, again, we get a nice little description that says meta name description with content describing our website. And this is recommended practice for SEO so that when website crawlers read our website, they can see the description meta tag and understand what our website is about. So let's go add that in our index.html file. I can just add it here. We'll describe our website and we'll say that where robots make friends. All right, let's go back to the report, and everything else looks pretty good. We have some performance issues here, such as we can serve images in next-gen formats. That is the robots images. And unfortunately, because this is an API, we don't have too much control over it unless we actually want to receive them beforehand and change them ourselves. But for now, let's not do that. That's not too bad. But let's take a look at the images and how we might be able to optimize them. If I go back to the website and I open up the network tab, let's refresh here. I see all the robots coming in. And if I click on here, I see that even though I said 200 by 200, I'm getting 300 pixels by 300 pixels. So we don't need those robots to have that big of an image. And this is a small error in the code. If we go here to the card component, the API of RoboHash asks us that we give it a query parameter of size equals 200 by 200. So that now, if we save and we're going to want to npm start because that is our deployed website. We want to just run it locally for now. Let's open up the network tab. And there you go. Our size is now 200 by 200. Robots are looking a little bit smaller, but this is what we want. It looks good. All right, let's run npm run deploy and see what kind of score we get now. Now, while this is running, keep in mind that until the deploy is run and then gets published, it might take a while to actually propagate to our website. It says published here now, but if I go to my app, so the URL, and open up the tab and refresh, we see that we're still getting the robots at 300 by 300. So the changes haven't propagated yet. So you have to wait a couple of minutes for that to happen, which is a little bit frustrating, but hey, it's a good chance for you to grab a cup of tea. Let's refresh again, see if anything changes. Nope. All right, I'm just gonna keep waiting here. All right, and I'm back. I didn't make you wait. It wasn't too bad. It was just like a minute wait. But now I see that my robot images are the proper size. If I go into the console, still have a bit of a console log here from the counter button, but it's all right. Let's run the Lighthouse score and see what happens. All right. Things are looking a lot better. We have 100 for SEO, 100 for accessibility, 100 for best practices. We have our performance web app, or progressive web app, which we definitely want to improve, and a bit of a performance issue. If we actually make this a little smaller and compare it to our numbers from before, we see that we've definitely improved these two aspects, which is great. And you might not even notice it, but our images now are loading a lot faster. You can see that the issue is not to serve images in next-gen format, as it was before, but now the biggest issue is reduce render blocking style sheets. And we know about that, right? If we click on here, it says, hey, for critical resources, consider adding the style tag in the HTML file and just load the other ones that you don't need later on. But that's something that we've already done, so we're not going to focus ourselves with. By the way, if my internet connection was better, I would probably get 100% for this regardless, because these times aren't too bad. But overall, we've improved everything. We just need to improve our progressive app now. Oh, and looking at this, I see that there's some unused rules in the style sheet that I could perhaps also look into. But that's something you can do on your own. Or you might want to see that, oh, well, these robots, because they're being rendered towards the end, aren't actually needed until the user scrolls. Again, that's something that we can do with above the fold loading, but we've already talked about that. So in the next video, let's focus on this. Let's make this a progressive web app. I'll see you in that one. Bye-bye.